You've probably dreamed of owning a vacation home, but the price tag, not so dreamy. That's where fractional ownership and timeshares come in. Both give you access to a beautiful property without full-time ownership. But here's the truth. They are not the same thing. One is a real investment with actual equity. The other, mostly a prepaid vacation. That often loses value. Today, I'll break it all down. Ownership structure, investment value, flexibility, costs, and what happens when it's time to sell. By the end, you'll know exactly which one, if either, fits your financial goals. Let's start with what you actually own. With fractional ownership, you own a legal share of the property, often through a deed. It might be 1/4, 1/8, or 1/12 of the whole home. That means you can benefit from appreciation. You can sell your share. You can transfer it, even pass it on to your heirs. You're literally buying a slice of the vacation home pie, and it's yours. Now compare that to a timeshare. A timeshare is not ownership of the property. It's ownership of time in the property, usually 1 or 2 weeks a year. You get usage rights, but not real equity. When the property's value goes up, you don't benefit. Fractional ownership is like buying the cake. Timeshare is like paying for a slice every year, but never owning the cake. Fractional ownership is a real estate investment. If the property goes up in value, your share does too. Example, you buy 1/8 of a property worth $800,000 for $100,000. 5 years later, the property's worth $1 million. Your share is now $125,000. And there's more. You might rent out unused weeks. That rental income could cover or even exceed your annual costs. Timeshares? That's a different story. They almost never appreciate. In fact, they usually lose value the second you buy. Pay $20,000 for a timeshare today, you might resell it for $1,000, if you can sell it at all. Fractional ownership can build wealth. Timeshares? They're a vacation expense. Fractional ownership gives you more time. 4 weeks, 8 weeks, sometimes 12 weeks a year. These are often high-end properties. Concierge services, housekeeping, maintenance handled for you. Scheduling is flexible but fair, usually a rotating system, so everyone gets peak weeks over time. Timeshares, you get a fixed week or a floating week in certain seasons. You might exchange weeks through a vacation network, but it's not always available. Fractional ownership is built for frequent, flexible stays. Timeshare is built for short, predictable trips. Fractional ownership costs more upfront. You're buying real estate, so you write a bigger check. Ongoing costs, taxes, insurance, maintenance, are split among all owners. Timeshares have lower upfront costs, but their annual fees can creep higher every year, and you'll pay extra for exchange programs if you want to travel elsewhere. Over time, timeshare owners often spend more in fees than fractional owners spend in fees plus their property appreciation. When it's time to sell, fractional owners have options. You own a deeded share. You can list it for sale, often through specialized brokers. It's not as easy as selling a single-family home, but it's far easier than unloading a timeshare. Timeshares are infamous for their resale struggles. Many owners give them away just to escape the annual fees. Some even pay companies to take them. If you value an easy exit, fractional ownership wins. Let's look at a real-world scenario. 2 families, 2 different choices. Family A buys 1/8 of a $960,000 ski home for $120,000. They use it 4 weeks a year. 10 years later, the home is worth $1.2 million. They sell their share for $150,000, a profit plus a decade of vacations. Family B buys a 2-week timeshare for $18,000. 10 years later, it's worth $1,000. They've also paid $8,000 in annual fees over the years. Same timeline, very different outcomes. Pros and cons. Fractional ownership, pros checkmark. Real equity, appreciation potential, flexible scheduling. Fractional ownership cons, higher upfront cost. Smaller resale market than regular real estate. Timeshare pros, check lower upfront cost, simple vacation planning. Timeshare cons, no equity, weak resale market, rising annual fees. If you want ownership, appreciation, and flexibility, fractional ownership makes sense. If you want a predictable vacation every year without worrying about resale, timeshare might work. But remember, run the numbers. Think long term. and make sure your vacation dreams don't turn into a financial nightmare.